much. Thank you, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome. Wow. Wow. Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to tonight's show. You know, there are many tough and difficult jobs out there, but one of the toughest has to be raising children. Now, there's many books available on providing advice for raising children, but what about the parents? How do you put all that time and energy, and let's be honest, money, and make it out alive, at least with our sanity, right? I don't claim to be an expert. I'm still working on my first one, but we've called in an expert. We have life coach and the best-selling author of the book, Surviving Your Teenager and Being Happy Anyway. Judith Joy's on the show, everybody. Amazing lady. We also have my dear friend, entrepreneur, international speaker, and business coach, Mayor Ezra will be co-hosting with us. Busy guy. And we're also going to have a special appearance by health expert and personal trainer, LaQuin Jones, everybody. LaQuin. And last but not least, we are going to have the Mario Mena Band sitting with us tonight. And if you are currently parenting children or parenting a company, this is an episode you won't want to miss. Stick with us. We'll be right back, everybody. Don't go anywhere.
Real estate today offers incredible opportunities, low prices, and extremely low interest rates. Hi, I'm Amy Norris from Amy Sells the Beach. Right now, there are opportunities in all areas. Our team can help you put your money to work finding your dream or investment property. And if you're looking to sell, no one can give you better exposure to buyers and make your property stand out. Experience matters when looking for opportunity. I'm Amy Norris. See why we're #1 at amysellsthebeach.com. Welcome. Wow, that was the Mario Mena Band. Give it up. Awesome sound, guys. It's sounding good. I'm here with my dear friend, Mayor Ezra. How have you been, Mayor?
Busy.
Busy, huh?
Flying around.
I know that we were together a couple of months ago. We did a seminar together, and then I receive emails sporadically that you're here and there. And of course, I know we're both kind of doing our thing, but the last time we spoke by email, I think you were in Mongolia, is that right?
Yep.
And I have to ask, what do you do in a place like Mongolia? My view there, I picture like, you know, fighting with swords.
I went to check the carrot cake.
The carrot cake, okay.
No, actually, I went to do some cycle with an oil company. I helped them and then brought them to Florida, and they become a client, and they really succeed. Over a very short time, we got them to really succeed.
Really go this way.
And but Mongolia is a bit underdeveloped.
Yeah.
But great carrot cakes.
Carrot cake.
Yeah. Carrot cake is Mongolia.
Wow, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's
so
the thing.
Mongolia have the carrot cake.
That's the thing.
Well, I know you're a pretty healthy guy, so for you to indulge, how many did you have while you were there? How many pieces?
Oh, if I'll tell you, I'll have to kill you.
Okay, and I think you could. Okay, we'll leave that alone. And so you've been in Mongolia. Where else have your travels led you?
China, Canada, Israel, England, South Africa, of course, all over the U.S.
And that's just been the last 90 days since we...
2-3 months, and you know, someone asked me, where do you live? And I said, I live on 1C. Which
1C, yeah.
That's the seat I like on the airplane. So I feel like I live on the airplanes.
Yeah, I know how that can be. I don't travel as much anymore as you do, but I did for a long time, and it's exciting, but it can be a little bit, you know. I remember one time I went to a presentation and I walked in, there's a boardroom there, and I said, hey, it's so good to be in Cleveland, and it was the wrong city, but I just was like discombobulated. That's easy to happen.
That happens. I wake up in the morning and I say, where am I?
And what time zone am I in?
In what time zone, yes.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you back. I know that pretty soon here coming up, we're going to be doing a seminar together in a few weeks in Florida, which we'll give more information. And, you know, I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. Where have I been? Mongolia, China. I've been, I went to Walmart. Bought some. How do you compete with Mongolia, man? Come on. No, but I've been taking a little bit of time. Last week I took a week off, and I think it was probably the busiest week of my life. You know how that goes. Yeah. But I have to tell you a quick story. We went to the beach with a bunch of friends. I think this was last Saturday. And so I'm a fisherman. A lot of people don't know I like to fish. So around 5:30, 6 o'clock, it's just starting to kind of get a real great sunset. I grab the pole and I go out with my 6-year-old Julian, and I'm about waist deep maybe, and I'm taking some casts and I'm catching these speckled trout. It's amazing. It's like the sunset. Every other cast I'm reeling in these fish, and all of a sudden, literally 3 feet in front of me, a fin pops up. Oh. And I see the whole back of about a 6-foot shark. I'm not kidding. So of course I literally just fly out of the water. Yeah. You know, and then I had to be that guy because there were swimmers right where the shark was. So I had to be the guy, and I'm trying to be discreet. I'm like, you know, get out of the water, and they weren't listening. So I finally had to be like, shark! And when you say that, it's like everybody here is like, dun dun. Yeah. And immediately those guys literally just flew straight and like landed on the beach. And
it proves that men can walk on water.
I'm telling you, I saw it happen. And there was, so we were catching a lot of fish, and about a half hour later, I kind of went back in, and I'm doing this bit, you know. And a few of them came back, and the next day, for my week off, the beaches were closed for several days. It was, they said they spotted about 150, most likely bull sharks in our area. So that went my whole beach thing. But now I want to ask you about something. I know that you stay in very good shape. And as you know, it's difficult at least for me, it's been difficult for entrepreneurs on the go. You're always in an airplane, you're traveling. Sometimes it seems like most of our meals are in restaurants because you're with clients. So you have to
eat a bit more than usual.
Yeah, exactly. And you're out, and then they're like saying, "Dessert, everybody," and you're like, you feel inclined. Okay. Well, I think I have to say, you know, I do visit with a lot of other entrepreneurs. I think you're one of the exceptions to the rule because I think most entrepreneurs, it's a balancing act. You know, especially if you're a parent and then you're in the air and you're with these clients, it's difficult to make good choices. And I have to say, I met a gentleman that's a health expert and personal trainer. This guy's a bodybuilder, and we met just kind of casually. And after I saw him, he was wearing like a t-shirt. I was thinking to myself, I don't care if this guy's in the biz or not. I want this guy to train me. He's one of those guys that really knows it. And I wanted to have him stop by on the show and give us a few tips on you know, the entrepreneur on the go or some quick nutrition tips. So everybody, please give a warm welcome to LaQuin Jones, everybody.
Hey, you are big.
Nice to have you, man. My pleasure.
Wow. Take that.
We're getting a lot of whistles, so I want you to already come back. And he's a specimen, isn't he? Yeah. So we were out with friends. And
it's good that he's not a woman.
No, I know. And that's what I was going to say. We were out with friends, and he was wearing some t-shirt or whatever, and we met very quickly, and I was trying not to have a man crush. I was like, yeah, that's cool, man. How do you get like that? But as we were talking, LaQuin, you know, for the entrepreneur on the go, give us a few tips of you know, what you can do, even if you don't have access to a gym. What are a few things that we can do in terms of workout to kind of keep up our regimen?
Well, as in terms of workout, there's a lot of things you can do, such as body squats, as you said, planks, lunges, push-ups. But the key is to do a circuit. When you do a circuit, it actually limits your time that you're doing each workout, so to make it faster for you to go ahead and get your workout in throughout the day.
Give me 3 exercises, let's say.
3 exercises. For full body, I would say squats, so that work your legs, crunches, that'll work your core and your stomach, and push-ups, that'll work your chest.
Okay, you hear there's so much, you know, information out there that's kind of contradicts itself. You hear like meat's bad, and then you hear, you know, carbs are bad and only eat meat, and there's just these different sides. But so if I wanted to go out and have a steak, let's say, once in a while and some vegetables or whatever, that's okay to do?
Yes, that is okay to do.
Because I have to say, I noticed when we went out, you had a few drinks too.
Yes.
So that's okay. I don't have to cut out everything.
On my off season, yes.
Oh, on the off season.
Not on the on season, so
okay.
I can't.
Okay, cool. All right, well, I appreciate you coming. And where can we get more information? I got on one of your sites, or maybe it was Facebook, and there's some really unbelievable pictures. So if you want to get inspired or you want more tips, where can we go?
You can always go to my website, LaQuin Jones, on Facebook, and if you need to message me, just message me and I'll reply back.
So LaQuin Jones on Facebook, that's
yes.
what we're saying. Okay. All right, well, check it out. Thank you so much for giving us a few minutes. And we'll be right back with Judith Joy, everybody. Stick with us.
When visiting Gulf Shores, Alabama, make sure to visit the Gulf Coast Zoo, home of the little zoo that could from Animal Planet. Get up close in our petting zoo. Enjoy our unique animal encounters. More than 300 monkeys, bears, reptiles, big cats, parrots, and more call Gulf Coast home. Come on, go wild at the Alabama Gulf Coast Zoo.
Real estate today offers incredible opportunities, low prices, and extremely low interest rates. Hi, I'm Amy Norris from Amy Sells the Beach. Right now, there are opportunities in all areas. Our team can help you put your money to work finding your dream or investment property. And if you're looking to sell, no one can give you better exposure to buyers and make your property stand out. Experience matters when looking for opportunity. I'm Amy Norris. See why we're #1 at amysellsthebeach.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to my dear friend, personal coach, and author of the best-selling book, Surviving Your Teenager and Being Happy Anyway, Judith Joy, everybody. Woo. How are you? I'm so jazzed to have you back. Now, a lot of our viewers know that we started the show, I guess this is the beginning of our 6th season, and we started under Tuesdays with Dan. And then recently we had to have, as our viewership expanded nationally, we had to change it to the Dan Vega Show. But you were on about a year ago, you came on. And the book wasn't out yet. You were just in the mix of getting the book finished. And now it's out. And not only is it out, but it's a bestseller. So we're really excited to talk about this. But before we do, tell us a little bit, Judith, about where you're from and a little bit about getting going.
I'm from north of Chicago, and I started studying energy because I had headaches. And through that, I just learned a lot of stuff. And my teachers started telling me, well, you have to start writing a book. You have to start writing. You have to start writing. And I delayed. And then they were like, you have to start writing. You have to start writing. So finally, I said, I need a coach. And so I got a publishing contract that had a writing coach with it. So that was great.
That's how it got going.
Yeah.
Well, and so really it was kind of your personal journey. You weren't set out to become this life coach and dealing in it. You were trying to find answers for yourself. And through your journey, everything else kind of happened, as it always does. Now let's talk a little bit about the book. What prompted you? I know you mentioned that you found a publishing company and the had a writing coach, which is a dear friend of mine, Adam Tillinghast. But what prompted Adam's an amazing guy. All right, give it up for Adam. He's really a brilliant guy. What prompted, though, to write the book? Was everybody just coming to you and saying, you got to write a book? How did that come about? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but go. You're on the spot.
But you are on the spot, yes.
Well, it started out that long time ago, I knew that I was a writer. And then when I was a teacher, I was teaching writing. And then when I was home with kids, I was a newsletter editor for 8 years.
Yeah.
And so I've always done writing. And it's the way that I process information.
Yeah.
because in order to write, you absolutely have to know what you're writing. You have to know the subject.
And why that name?
Yeah, why the name?
Why the
Surviving
name?
your teenager and being happy anyways.
Well, I was writing about so many different things, and the topic was way too broad. And so I set the intention at night that I would wake up knowing what the segment of the market was. And I woke up at 3 in the morning and just popped up parents of teenagers.
That's amazing. This
Okay.
is an ability. This is an ability. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, well, anything that you set an intention before going to bed,
Yeah.
then when you wake up, it's there.
Wow.
It works with a lot of
like
things.
Well, and I know that they say that great writers, and I don't operate by this. I don't consider myself really a writer. I think I'm an entrepreneur that occasionally writes. But for me, it's actually, there's a real discipline to it. I have to say, okay, I need to write a little bit, and it's focused, it's painful, I can do it, but it's not something that comes natural. And I've talked to many great writers that say that it's really not a lot of effort or discipline. It's almost like they see a movie reel in their head and they just have to capture the scene. It just comes to them. Is that kind of what happens with you? Or?
That's what happens. In fact, my son asked me a question, and then I'm like, because it looks like you're reading the second. Like,
oh, right.
I am.
Oh, okay.
Because I can see it happening.
Yeah, and you just grab it and go.
Right.
Wow.
And so with the book, there's a lot of books out there that address, they give advice to how to better, be there for your children and how to actually parent your children. But this book is quite a bit different. It's really focused on more of the parents, which I appreciate because, as you know, I have I have a 6-year-old. It's my first child, so I'm still in that learning experience. But what prompted you to, or I should say, how difficult was it to come up with a book like this, and why is it different from all the other self-help books?
Well, this book is about supporting yourself.
Yeah.
And I have 4 children, one of which was extremely, extremely difficult. And she actually went to a treatment center twice. And now she's fantastic. She's used the techniques in this book for herself, and I've used them on myself. And I've just been through a lot.
Yeah. So it's not really like I've read because there's so many people, and you know this, Mayor, on the speaking circuit or in the they read the right books and then they recycle the information and they're back out there. But these are tested and proven things that you've actually went through with your own children, saying this works. This is maybe a lot of crap, doesn't work, but this is the real stuff.
Right.
And I saw you're talking a lot about decisions. That was fascinating for me. Yeah. Why decisions? Why?
Well, very often things just happen. And life happens and you just go along with it. But if you know I can make a decision, then you also know that not making a decision is making a decision.
That's smart.
Well, and we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, you talk a lot in the book about truth. And I would presume that maybe truth is a perception of an individual, but I really want to get into it because there's some really interesting stuff in here talking about what truth is. So let's take a short break. We'll be right back with Judith Joy. Don't go anywhere, everybody.
Real estate today offers incredible opportunities, low prices, and extremely low interest rates. Hi, I'm Amy Norris from Amy Sells the Beach. Right now, there are opportunities in all areas. Our team can help you put your money to work finding your dream or investment property. And if you're looking to sell, no one can give you better exposure to buyers and make your property stand out. Experience matters when looking for opportunity. I'm Amy Norris. See why we're #1 at amysellsthebeach.com.
When visiting Gulf Shores, Alabama, make sure to visit the Gulf Coast Zoo, home of the little zoo that could from Animal Planet. Get up close in our petting zoo. Enjoy our unique animal encounters. More than 300 monkeys, bears, reptiles, big cats, parrots, and more call Gulf Coast home. Come on, go wild at the Alabama Gulf Coast Zoo.
Welcome back to the show. That is the Mario Mena Band, everybody. Also, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Dan Vega Host. And if you want to be part of our live audience, go to thedanvegashow.com and go to the Contact Us, and we'd love to have you be a part of the audience. Now, I'm here with Judith Joy. And Judith, we've been talking about your book, Surviving Your Teenager and Being Happy Anyway. I know this thing was only out a couple of weeks and it became bestseller, and there's got to be some real meat to this. I've actually read it personally, which I don't get to read a lot of extra books. I have a curriculum that I stick to, but I was really into this book, and I'm going through a lot of this right now myself, so it's really made me think about you know, myself a little bit. I hate to say that, but there's some points that you might not normally consider when raising children and how to focus on yourself. Now, I want to ask you, you talk a lot about finding your truth. Can you expand a little bit on that? Isn't truth, right?
Well, things are only true until they're not.
Okay.
When the Earth was made, it was round, but everybody thought that it was flat.
Right.
So people thought, this is truth, it's flat. And then somebody discovered it wasn't.
Okay.
Someone discovered
So
it was
at the time
round.
when we thought the Earth was flat, that was a truth because the general perception was it's flat.
They perceived it as a truth.
Right. Okay. Which ultimately makes it somewhat of a truth. Am I way off here?
Yeah,
I'm going to have to get some coaching behind the scenes.
It's a reality. Yeah,
Okay.
They base everything they do on that reality or on that truth.
Okay.
So they didn't sail to the end of the Earth.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's kind of like I always think of like the stock market or the money market. It's really not based on the actual facts. Sometimes it's speculation, but there's so much speculation about what's going to happen, it makes it so. It becomes truth.
If enough people believe something, it becomes the reality.
Yeah, it becomes a morphic field.
Yeah, and talk briefly about royalty days.
Ooh, it's my favorite. As you know, I'm into philanthropy.
Yes.
So what we're doing is we're taking all of the royalties that I earned from the book and donating it to charity.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, the way I was planning on doing it was that I was just going to quietly
Sure.
donate it. But my fiance was like, no. And so what we're doing is we're actually contacting 501c3s, which are nonprofits that benefit children.
Okay.
And we're asking them to promote the book. And then they have 4 days to do it. And then in those 4 days, any book that's sold, they get the profits from.
So if we have a 501c3 out there watching and they're dealing with children,
Yes.
Then they can actually get involved, promote the book for 4 days, and the royalties, partial royalties from those 4 days go to them?
All my royalties.
All the royalty. Wow, there you have
Wow.
it. So get involved, and you can actually have several charities participating then, right?
We hope to have every 4 days.
Okay, perfect. Well, that's very generous of you. And the book, it says, I want to ask you, I kind of found this as a new thought, that viewpoint, we talked about this a little bit, but can you really trust your gut? As an entrepreneur, I've kind of learned to like trust my gut. And I think that from what I get, that's a good thing to develop your own intuition. But can you just have like a bad intuition? I mean, can everybody do that? Or is it, you know, I know some people's viewpoints are pretty strange.
It's a matter of paying attention to yourself. And when you pay attention to yourself and your body, you're going to get little dings. Like if your kids say, well, I'm going to whatever party, and you get a little ding, and you're going,
Something don't sound right.
something isn't right here.
Yeah.
It's logical that they're going to the party. They may be dressed right for going to the party, but something's not going on. Pay attention to that little ding.
That little voice that we have.
Yeah.
And one thing that struck me kind of different in this book is you talk about just choosing happiness. And I know in the business world, a lot of times that we talk about success as a mindset, that you just make a decision that I'm going to be successful. But in terms of happiness, can you actually just choose success?
You can choose to
choose happiness.
You can choose to be unhappy.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's true.
So why can't you choose to be happy? It's just different roads to get there.
So happiness is the overcoming of the problem
Right.
towards that goal. And if you overcome the problem, you're happy, and if you don't, you're unhappy.
Right.
That's basic. Yeah, we spoke about it earlier. Yeah. So yeah, she's very smart.
Let me ask you this: what do you want the people that read this book? What do you want them to really take away from the book as a message? Because I feel like this is kind of one of those books, like a Think and Grow Rich, and even though it's a different genre, this has the sustainability to be out there for really decades. I feel like as one of those staple books, you know, that you're going to see over and over and over. What are the readers that are picking up this book, and I suggest you pick it up, what do you want them to really take away from the book?
Teenagers are going through a stage. They're trying to figure out who they are. They're trying to figure out what works for them. Mm-hmm. And in this process, they're going to make mistakes. And it's about letting them make their mistakes, being there to support them, and then you're living your life. And you get to make all these decisions about your life. And you can choose to be happy, and they can choose to be in the trauma drama of all the teenage years. And that you can go, oh, that's an interesting point of view, mm-hmm. or that's a nice way of looking at it, or I wouldn't do it that way, but if you choose to, go ahead. But their trauma drama doesn't have to become your trauma drama.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can experience other viewpoints, basically.
Yes.
Okay. Now, where can we find more information?
SurvivingYourTeenager.com. Mm-hmm. On Facebook, it's Judith Joy Author. And on Twitter, it's Yes with Joy.
I know the book also just came out on ebook.
Yes.
There's no excuse. It's a must read. You got to pick it up. Surviving Your Teenager and Being Happy Anyways. Judith, thank you so much for coming by. I'm sure this is the first of many bestsellers. Please come back. I also want to give a special thanks to my dear friend Ezra for co-hosting.
Thank you.
And the Mario Mena Band. You guys are hot tonight. Hot, hot, hot. Please come back. And then also my dear friend LaQuin Jones. LaQuin, everybody, please come back. That's our show. Don't forget to get involved in your local community.